Reality is Broken, Why Games Make Us Better, and How They Can Change the World, Part 2, by Jane McGonigal, PhD. The ever skyrocketing amounts of time and money spent on games are being observed with alarm by some, concerned parents, teachers, and politicians, and eagerness by others, the many technology industries that expect to profit greatly from the game boom. Meanwhile, they are met with bewilderment and disdain by more than a few non gamers, who still make up nearly half of the US population, although their numbers are rapidly decreasing. Many of them deem gaming a clear waste of time. As we make these value judgments, hold moral debates over the addictive quality of games, and simultaneously rush to achieve massive industry expansion, a vital point is being missed. The fact that so many people of all ages, all over the world, are choosing to spend so much time in game worlds is a sign of something important, a truth that we urgently need to recognize. The truth is this: in today's society, computer and video games are fulfilling genuine human needs that the real world currently is unable to satisfy. Games are providing rewards that reality is not. They are teaching and inspiring and engaging us in ways that reality is not. They are bringing us together in ways that reality is not. And unless something dramatic happens to reverse the resulting exodus, we're fast on our way to becoming a society in which the substantial portion of our population devotes its greatest effort to playing games, creates its best memories in game environments, and experiences its biggest successes in game worlds. Maybe this sounds hard to believe. To a non-gamer, this forecast might seem surreal or like science fiction. Are huge swaths of civilization really disappearing into game worlds? Are we really rushing headlong into a future where the majority of us use games to satisfy many of our most important needs? If so, will it not be the first time? It will not be the first time that such a mass exodus from reality to games has occurred. Indeed, the very first written history of human gameplay, Herodotus' Histories, the ancient Greek account of the Persian Wars dating back more than 3,000 years, describes a nearly identical scenario. While the oldest known game is the ancient counting game Mancala, evidence shows it was played during Egypt's age of empires, or the 15th to 11th centuries BC. It was not until Herodotus that anyone thought to record the origins or cultural functions of these games. And from his ancient text, we can learn a great deal about what's happening today and what's almost certainly coming next. It's a bit counterintuitive to think about the future in terms of the past, but as research director at the Institute for the Future, a nonprofit think tank in Palo Alto, California, and the world's oldest future forecasting organization, I've learned an important trick. To develop foresight, you need to practice hindsight. Technologies, cultures, and climates change, but our basic human needs and desires to survive, to care for our families, and to lead happy, purposeful lives remains the same. So, at IFTF, we like to say, to understand the future, you have to look back at least twice as far as you're looking ahead. Fortunately, when it comes to games, we can look even further back than that. Games have been a fundamental part of human civilization for thousands of years. In the opening book of the Histories, Herodotus writes, when Attis was king of Lydia in Asia Minor some 3,000 years ago, a great scarcity threatened his realm. For a while, people accepted their lot without complaining, in the hope that times of plenty would return. But when things failed to get better, the Lydians devised a strange remedy for their problem. The plan adopted against the famine was to engage in games one day so entirely as not to feel any craving for food, and the next day to eat and abstain from games. In this way, they passed 18 years and along the way invented the dice, knucklebones, the ball, and all of the games which are common. What do ancient dice made from sheep's knuckles have to do with the future of computer and video games? More than you might expect. Herodotus invented history as we know it, and he has described the goal of history as uncovering moral problems and moral truths in the concrete data of experience. Whether Herodotus' story of an 18-year famine survived through gameplay is true or, as some modern historians believe, apocryphal or not true. Its moral truths reveal something important about the essence of games. We often think of immersive gameplay as escapist, a kind of passive retreat from reality. But through the lens of Herodotus' history, we can see how games could be a purposeful escape, thoughtful and active escape, and most importantly, an extremely helpful escape. For the Lydians, playing together as a nearly full time activity would have been a behavior highly adaptive to difficult conditions. Games made life bearable. Games gave a starving population a feeling of power in a powerless situation, a sense of structure in a chaotic environment. Games gave them a better way to live when their circumstances were otherwise completely unsupportive or uninhabitable. Make no mistake, we are no different from the ancient Lydians. Today, many of us are suffering from a vast and primal hunger, but it is not a hunger for food. It is a hunger for more and better engagement from the world around us. Like the ancient Lydians, many gamers have already figured out how to use the immersive power of play to distract themselves from hunger, a hunger for more satisfying work, for a stronger sense of community, and for a more engaging and meaningful life. Collectively, the planet is now spending more than 3 billion hours a week gaming. We are starving, and our games are feeding us.